You know, Peter writes, while you're turning there, Peter writes that Satan goes about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Just looking to chew people up and spit them out. I think one of the scariest things written in the Bible, one of the scariest moments in the Bible, is when Jesus is talking to Peter and says, Satan has desired to have you so he can sift you like wheat. Because that language means that Jesus and Satan had a conversation. And since the Old Testament prophesies that one of Christ's chosen, one that shares bread at his table, is going to rise up and put his hand against him, Satan knows that one of these 12 he gets. He knows he's getting one. And Peter's behavior so far has led Satan to believe Peter's it. And so there's been a conversation where Satan has said, I think I know who it is. I think it's that guy. When can I have him? And Jesus goes to Peter and says, by the way, Satan has desired from me to have you and sift you like wheat. Isn't that what he did to Judas?
Yes.
Judas ran out and hung himself. Frightening language that Satan has desired to have you and sift you like wheat. And of course, the answer was not, so Peter, get busy. The answer was not, Peter, you got to do some stuff. Pray harder. You need to join a church. It is, I have prayed for you that your faith won't fail. So what was Peter's security? Jesus, his work, his prayer, his fullness. Jesus said, don't worry, Satan desired to have you. I secured you. And then later Peter gets all bold about stuff. Oh, even if they all deny you, I'll never deny you. Jesus says, before the cock crows, you're going to deny me 3 times. What's he do? Through that night, 3 times. I don't know him. Telling the people around the fire, I don't know him. They said, no, your speech gives you away. You're Galilean. You were with him. We saw you. I don't swear, and I don't know him. And then the 3rd time he did it, it says that he locked eyes with Jesus. Can you imagine that moment? So then is Peter lost? Is Peter done for? Peter done in? All over for Peter? No hope for Peter? After the resurrection, Jesus shows up on the seashore. They're out there fishing. They've caught nothing. Peter's the one that figures out it's the Lord. He doesn't wait for the boat. He jumps out of the boat and swims to the shore because the Lord's there. 3 times Jesus says to him, do you love me? 3 times he tells him, feed my sheep. So who restored him? Jesus restored him. 3 times he denied, 3 times Jesus restored him. So Peter can write, our enemy, the devil, goes about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. That's a great phrase, because it doesn't say he's out there randomly devouring. He's out there devouring at will. He's taking whoever he wants. No, he's out there looking for the ones he gets, which again is biblically very consistent. The beginning of the book of Job, one of the things that God is very clear about in talking to Satan is, well, okay, you can have Job's stuff, but you can't touch him. Well, he doesn't worship you for nothing. You've built a hedge around him. I can't touch him. I can't touch him. I can't touch his stuff because you've protected him from me. And so God says, okay, you can touch his stuff, but you can't touch him. Again, God continues to be in complete control of what Satan can and cannot do. And after he takes all his stuff and takes his children, Satan comes back and God says, see? That's the short version. God says, see? And Satan says, skin for skin. You let me touch his body, he'll curse you to your face. He says, okay, you can touch his body, but you can't kill him. Who has control there? God. It's all God that has the control. In the end, he was restored double everything he lost. Who was in control there? God. Who restored Job? God. Who was responsible for Job's trouble? God. It was all God. It's all God doing these things. So even when we read that Satan goes about like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour, we can have the confidence of knowing that he's only allowed to devour those that God lets him devour. And those that are protected, those that have that hedge, those that have the stronger man, the Spirit of God inside them, Satan can't touch them, can't devour them. But in this life, in this Christian faith, as we go out and deal with this world, there's going to be a wrestling match between the truth and the lies of this world. And it's not always just going to be human beings wrestling against human beings. You have to recognize and be aware of the tools, the tricks, the activity of Satan, and be ready to fight that fight. That's what Paul's about to talk about.